I thought up of a four-player commander experiment. This is not a real thing that happened. This is more like a modeled thing where four players would play over the course of either one long day or 2 days with a selection of cards. So I'm just going to run through the setup. Why am I doing this? What's the objective and the setup for this little game plan? Is to test what a commander's masters would look like after playing with Battle Bond and Sealed and Draft. Sealed at a game store and Draft just modeled mock with packs that I cracked, and you guys can see that in my channel. Uh, I liked it, but I thought it could be taken one step further. And I don't know if this is feasible, but I'm checking it out just for fun. If you could show up at an LGS at a local game store and be presented with cards where you would do a brawl build in a Commander Master set, and even taking it further, could you even do something like a Commander Sealed build? For a Brawl deck, you would need roughly 36 permanents, 24 creatures and 12 non-creatures typically, except usually for blue and red or white and blue, where you'd go half and half, 18 and 18. Uh, and then, of course, for a Commander build, that would be a completely different story. That would be 60, typically 60 permanents that are not lands, so it'd be 40 creatures, 20 non-creatures, or once again, if you went into a control build where you had a lot of instants and sorceries, or where you had a white blue artifacts deck, even then in that case, you could go 30-30. So how many packs would it take? Now you show up for a two-headed giant and you get 12 packs. For regular sealed, you get 6 packs, and for draft, you pick out of 3 packs. Do you need seeded packs? From what I've done so far, it looks like you definitely will. Is it a single set? How many cards are there in this set? How many different types of commander decks can you build? How many different types of brawl decks can you build? This is completely unknown because Wizards has not designed such a set. Battle Bond, again, once again, was aimed at two-headed giant. Are there multiple packs? Do you open a pack that goes for these strategies and a separate pack that goes for these other strategies? Again, you only need one of a card, so you have to have a selection that does not duplicate either at all or very little. And so what's the commander setup? Do you pick your commander uh, like they do in Force of Will, where you can pick a commander out of a list of 5 commanders? Or are you given a seeded pack with commanders in it? Um, do you pull them out of the packs? That would have to mean, of course, that a pack would have to look be very much like a Dominaria pack where you're guaranteed a commander. Okay, so the way that I've designed this, I originally had it for days 1, 2, and 3, and day 3 I would add packs. But given that I basically ran out of packs and I'm on a peasant's budget, I've only been able to have the packs for days 1 and 2, and I'll show you guys in this video how I have arranged that. So the way that I have arranged that is players are presented their commanders. And so I have the 5 wedge commanders from Cans of Tarkir, and I have all 10 Return to Arachnic Gatecrash guild commanders, and they're made up in trios. So that's the second item in here. So in each trio covers all 5 colors, and so each trio has 2 guild commanders and 1 KTK commander. The players play 3 games in a row, 1 with each commander, and from the packs that they pull, they're only allowed to play common lands, even if they're dual lands, so no uncommon or rare lands. This has a little bit of a Project Runway sort of design, where you're really forcing the players down a very specific path. I don't think this is realistic. It's just a challenge, it's just an example, and I'm going to run through it, and I've learned a lot already from it, and I plan to learn a lot more, and I hope you guys find it interesting. Okay, so what are the cards in this challenge? So I've been able to I've been able to buy a few packs, and I bought some of those, and there's a playlist in this channel for every single card in this selection, as it was cracked. It was all cracked as part of I think it's called a 2018 rotation stash. And this is the way I laid out the packs. So I tried to have only one pack of a specific set for a specific player. That didn't work out so well. I ended up doing some repeats, and actually I'm kind of glad that that happened. player 1 was the one where I had the least repeats. So player 1 only has the battle pack cards from M13 and an N13 pack, and also has a Borns of the God seed pack and a Borns of the God pack and 2 Kaladesh packs. Then the repeat cycle gets a little more, there's more repeat. So player 2, for example, has 2 Theros packs, and then also Born of the Gods and then Born of the Gods seed pack. So it has about a little more, and then player 3 and 4 have a lot of repetition. So for example, player 3 has 3 Theros packs and 1 Theros seed pack, and doubles of like Eldritch Moon, Kaladesh, and then also, of course, Return to Ravnica and a battle pack set of cards. Player 4 also has some repeats on the Kaladesh side more than on the Theros side, so it has 3 Kaladesh packs and 2 Theros packs, and then 2 RTR packs and 1 battle pack of RTR. I've loaded all these cards into MTGO, all selections, and I'll show them in this video. And there's very few repeats, so it worked out really well. And what I am finding, based on the decks that I've already started building, which are not part of this video, they'll be part of a second and following videos, is you kind of give something and lose something. In the case of a player 1 selection where you go chaos pack mode and almost every pack is different, you're going to get a lot of variety and very little duplication, but then you're also going to get multiple strategies all trying to vie for the same deck. And the deck building I have found is not as fun. In the case of, say, player 3 and player 4, you do get a little more repetition, so you wind up getting fewer cards out of the packs that are unique for your builds. But the bonus is that you do have some more synergies because, of course, player 3 has 4 Theros packs and player 4 has 3 Kaladesh packs. All right. So the way that I have set it up, it's somewhat random. I laid it out in a way that I thought was reasonably random. Didn't draw lots or do dice or anything like that. I kind of had the cards laying around and I just laid them out. And so the way that I did it is I gave the trio to each one of the 4 players, and then for the second day I just shifted them 1 slot over. So for example, on day 1, player 1 plays trio 1. That trio 1 is passed over, maybe to the right, to player 2. And so on day 2, player 2 plays those 3 same commanders. Now there's 10 guild commanders, 2 each, so there's 2 that are not going to get played both days. And then in the case of the 5 Cancel Tarkir commanders, there's 1 that does not get played the 4 days. And I think I on purpose even made it so it was Narset, because I know Narset is an unpopular build. I think I even did that on purpose, so that was not random. Okay, so then day 1, player 1 plays this trio. Game 1 is Esperia, game 2 is Rakdos, game 3 is Anafenza. Of course, then when you add up all the trios, they cover all 5 colors. Then player 2 on day 1 and player 3 on day 2 play Jarad, Aurelia, and Serac. Then player 3 on day 1 and player 4 on day 2 play Nipmiset, Trostani, and Sidisi. And then the trio 4 is played on day 1 by player 4, Borborygnos, Enrage, and Lazav, Borborygnos, I'm going to mispronounce it, I'm sorry, and Zergo. But this trio is not played on the second day. Likewise, trio 5 with Upsadat, Zigana, and Narset is not played on day 1, but it is played on day 2. Okay, so this is the top selection from MTGO of player 1's selection. This player pulled 3 mythic rares. Again, the actual cards you're going to see in a playlist where I pulled the stash. And then I'm going to call them he's, but they could be she's. These are model players. They could be Martians for all we care. He has 3 mythic rares and 12 rares. Some of the pulls were not so great, like Volatile Rig and Trade Doctoring, but some of the pulls were pretty good, like Mogus. So this player has a pretty good selection in my opinion. Player 2 got the Planeswalker and got Nylea. Those are the two mythics. And then player 2 has 10, 13 rares. So player 1 has at least Mogus that they can do. So on day 3, what I was going to have each player do is play from their cards only, not be given seated commanders. So this player would likely play Mogus on day 3, although I'm planning to add additional packs, and this will be a completely different installment of all this of this modeling situation. And I don't really know how it's going to play out, but that's where I'm going. That's what I'm thinking. And so back to player 2. Player 2 can at least go mono green devotion. It's a little restrictive with this selection and even with added packs. And player 2 can also go with SRAM. Now, what has already happened is pulling a commander build, a full 60 out of this many cards. This guy has 100 creatures and 82 non-creatures. You'd think that would be enough for a 2-color commander deck, but it barely is in some cases. So the builds for day 1 and day 2 in this modeling arrangement are all basically Brawl Modern, a format that does not exist. Okay, so then back to player 2. Some bad pulls like Door to Nothingness that would put you on 5 colors, but then some pretty good pulls as well. Again, these are random selections. They're done random on purpose just to explore how much fun would this be, would it even work out. Player 3 has some really good pulls, but I don't have 2 of the cards online and I'm not about to buy them. I'm not putting any more money into this than I already have put in by buying the packs, and that was a lot of money already, because we're talking about more than, I don't know how many packs is it, 14 times 4, 56, so a little over a booster box, almost 2 booster boxes worth of packs went into this selection just to try it out. So player 3, I pulled the Grim Flayer. I don't have it online. I put a Giza and Giraffe, same set, mythic, 2-color, similar, not the same card, but still. And then the Cursor of Crufix, I don't have it online yet. I'm not going to buy it for this gig. So I put in a similar card. So it's a green rare creature. That's it from the same set. Okay. Player 4 pulled an Angel of Serenity and the Champion of Stray Souls. So it's got 2 mythics and then 11 rares. It's got a Gonti, so it's got pretty good stuff that it can do on black. We shall see, and also it pulled an Exava, which can also mean a red black commander. We shall see how it plays out with adding cards for this modeled day 3. Then I'm just going to run through day 1 and day 2 what commanders will be on. So from left to right, it'd be players 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for example, player 1, day 1, game 1 is going to be on Asperia. And this gives you an idea of the range of commanders that you can see in this modeled environment. You're going to see Asperia, Gerard, Niv-Mizzet, and Borborygmus on the same game, playing against each other. Then the second game, you're going to see Rakdos, Aurelia, Trostani, and Lazav. Then the game 3, you're going to see everything but Narset from KTK. And then day 2, game 1, you're going to see Upsadat. Then Asperia moves over to player 2. Jarab moves over to player 3. And Niv-Mizzet moves over to player 4 from the -1 player. Then the second game of the second day, you're going to see Zagena, Rakdos, Aurelia, and Trostani. And then the last game of day 2 for this modeling scenario, you are going to see an Narset build for player 1. Okay, and then Zergo is no longer in the game. And I'm done. This is basically a setup. I've already started building some of the decks, and some of the builds have been a lot of fun. Some of the builds have been rather lame. So for example, the Asperia build for day 1, game 1 is kind of a lame deck. Again, this is a modeled environment, and so one of the things that I could do later on is rearrange the packs. I've left the cards as they were pulled from the packs in 3x3 multi-pro sleeves so that I can rearrange the packs, and later on I can add packs or subtract packs just to see what it would look like. I can also later on, and this is something else that I'm thinking about, make specific packs that take out all these cards that are clearly not good for Commander. Okay, so that's all I have for this.